All right, kindergarten friends, welcome back for day number 2. But before we get started, I need you to pause this video and look in the week 1 folder. There's a link to the author reading of this book, Teach Us Your Name. This is the book that we're going to use to inspire our artwork because remember, our artwork is going to include our own names. So I want you to pause the video here and go and check out the YouTube link of Teach Us Your Name, and then come right back. I hope that you enjoyed that story. I really think it's important that I know all of your names, which will be a little bit harder since we will only be able to interact via the computer. But I'm going to make it a point to make sure that I learn all of your names. That's important to me because your name is a big part of who you are. It's a part of your identity. Identity is about all the things that make you, you. Sometimes, if we're thinking about identity, the thing that might come to mind is a secret identity. Like superheroes have a secret identity. It's another whole person that they are in secret. Well, your identity shouldn't be a secret. It should be things that we celebrate, all about you. And I want to learn about you. And one of those big parts is who you are, is your name. My name is Miss Tess. I want you to call me Miss Tess. When I think about my name, it rhymes with mess. Sometimes I like to say, Miss Tess makes a mess. I think even my hands right now you can still see I was really messy with my artwork today. But that's okay, as long as I clean up my mess, which I usually am really good at. So today you're going to take your name and you are going to add some of that color to it, and some designs and some illustrations and maybe some of the ideas that you already sketched in your sketchbook. But before we start coloring our names, let's talk about color. Color is one of the first elements of art that we talk about because color is so important in art. Color has meanings. Color helps us to feel things within artwork. Color is beautiful, and color is all around us. So color will be the first thing we'll talk about, and we're going to talk about the primary colors and the secondary colors. We're going to talk about warm colors and cool colors. We're going to talk a little bit about complementary colors, which you'll learn a lot more about as you get older in art class. So let's go ahead and get out our color worksheets. Color Math-A-Magic. We're going to do some addition with colors, and get your crayons and we'll get started on the first part of our assignment today. I have my worksheet all ready to go. The first thing that we will always do in the art room is to put our name on our work. Right here it tells me exactly where to write my name. My name is Miss Tess. I'm in the art room. So I'll just write art. Okay, so color Math-A-Magic. Say Math-A-Magic because it's like mathematics. You're going to learn a lot of math. There's a lot of math in art, especially when we talk about color and shapes. So this is talking about what happens when we add certain colors together that equals new colors. It's just like math. Like when we add 1 plus 1, we get 2. The colors we need to start with today are the primary colors. We have 3 primary colors. They are the 3 colors we use. And when we mix them together, we get every other color. These are the 3 colors that we add together to get all the other colors. Those colors are yellow, red, get back here, red, and blue. These are our 3 primary colors. So I want you to get these 3 colors out of your crayon box. We'll use these first. Yellow, red, and blue. These are the primary colors. So these are the 3 colors we're going to put together in these first boxes. to find out what colors these make when we mix them together. So I'll take my yellow first for my first bubble here. Now, when I'm coloring, it's important that I take my time and do my nicest, neatest work. You'll hear me say that a lot. And the best way to color in my nicest, neatest way is to first trace the outline of the object that I want to color in. When I do that, it kind of helps my hand know, okay, I want to color inside this space. And then I'm going to, especially at the edge, slowly start to color that in. Right? I'm taking my time to stay inside that line I just drew. You can also see this whole spot belongs to yellow, so I want to color in the yellow. Now, let's pick one of these colors to mix with our yellow. Let's go with red next. We'll wait on Mr. Blue here. So we're going to find out first what happens when we mix yellow and red together. So same thing, I'm going to trace the outline. And then color it in. You need to go as slow as you need to go to stay in the lines. And that's going to be different for everybody. So if you ever need to pause my video to get me to slow down, just go ahead and pause the video. But since I've been practicing coloring for a long time, I get to go probably a little faster. All right, we're going to keep moving and coloring in all the different combinations before we talk about what happens when we mix them up. So, those two colors first. Let's see what happens. I think blue wants a turn. So let's put blue in this box. Trace the outline, then color it in and work hard to stay in the lines. Okay. Now we're going to mix blue with one of our other primary colors. Let's go ahead and try with yellow. So our first combination will be what happens when we mix yellow and red together. Our next combination will be what happens when we mix blue and yellow together. That means we have one last combination to figure out. That's going to be what happens when we mix red and blue together. So I'll fill red in one of my last circles, my little bubbles here, and then blue in the other. Okay, so primary colors, yellow, red, and blue. All right, so let's find out what happens when we mix our colors. Our first combination, yellow and red. When we mix yellow and red, we get a new color, orange. So let's go ahead and get out our orange crayon. Orange is one of our secondary colors. When we mix our primary colors together, primary and primary, we get a secondary color. We get orange. So I'm going to take my orange crayon because when I mixed my yellow and red, I've got orange. So orange belongs in this box. So I'm going to trace the outline, then take my time to color it in, trying to cover up all of the white space there.
All right, let's find out what happens when we mix our next set of colors. Our next set, what happens when we mix blue and yellow? When we mix our blue and yellow, we make a secondary color called green. All right, blue and yellow mixed together makes green. So green belongs in this bubble. Trace the outline, color it in. Nice and neatest work. And the more that I practice taking my time to do this, the better my skills will become. One last color to mix. What happens when our red and our blue are mixed together? Red and blue makes purple. Purple. I got my purple crayon here. All right. So purple belongs in the last bubble. Trace and color. Take my time. Okay, that's just to get us started. We're going to talk more about colors. This last sheet for our color families, we will save for next week when we will talk about them more. The top ones, if you wanted to start coloring those in, you can do that because you now know about the primaries and the secondaries. The primaries are our colors that we used to make our secondary color friends. So you can use your colors and you can color in the primaries and the secondaries, but wait on our other color families. We will talk more about those color families next week.
Did you have fun doing some color mixing? These are one of my favorite things to play with in the art room when we talk about color mixing. These are my yellow glasses. But I can change the color of my glasses. Ooh. Now I got one green eye, one yellow eye. These are always available to play with in the art room. So hopefully when we come back to class, you'll get to put on my crazy color changing glasses and get to play around with mixing some colors too. All right, so we had fun mixing some colors. We learned what happens when we take our primary colors and we mix them together to make new colors. And we practiced coloring in our sheets, really nice and neat, taking our time. And then you're going to go ahead and remember to color in on our color families. You can color in the primaries and the secondaries. We know who those color families are, right? Primaries, secondaries. But now it's time to talk about what's the last thing you're going to do today. I want to know more about you. And I want you to take your time to color in your name. And I want to see how you're going to decorate that to teach me a little bit more about you. Who you are, what you like to do. You can color each letter different. I want you to color in the background some too. You can draw things around your name. Really want you to fill your paper up. Really taking your time to do it. And then when you're finished, remember you're going to upload it. You're going to tell me in the description what is some way that your name rhymes to help me remember the pronunciation. Like you're always going to remember how to say Miss Tess, because you're going to remember it rhymes with big mess. So I'll show you mine in just a little bit after I work on it, and I can't wait to see what your finished product turns out like. All right, it's time to talk about a cheeseburger. When we talk about art assignments in art class, I like to talk about them as a cheeseburger. When I'm giving you an art assignment, I am placing an order with you for a certain type of cheeseburger. And the cheeseburger is your art assignment, and all of the toppings I want to order are all the different parts that you should include. So you have your first art assignment, and your art assignment is to take your name paper and you are going to turn it into a work of art. You are going to use your crayons. You are going to add some of those colors that we practiced and talked about. You are going to take your time to color it in as nice and neat as you can. And we're going to trace the outline of the shape we want to color in first, and then we're going to take our time to fully fill it in. Right? We don't want to see a ton of the white space or the paper showing through when we take our time to fully color it in. Our artwork's going to fill the paper. Every time we make art in the art room, our art should fill the paper. I helped you get started with filling the paper because I already made your name nice and big for you, just to help you get started on this art project. But you are still going to need to fully color in the piece. And you might be drawing other things around your name to tell me something about you. So make sure those things are nice and big and help to fill the space on your paper. Your art should tell me something about you. Maybe some of the color choices that you make will be favorite colors of yours. Maybe you're going to be drawing something special to you as part of your artwork. So I want to learn about you. Not just your name, but something else about you too. And then the last part of your art assignment is to finish coloring in your color worksheet, your color Mathemagic and our color families, and to have finished your 3 sketches in your sketchbook. So that's your whole cheeseburger order. So let's look at that together. Okay, when you get your art assignment, we got our cheeseburger. Okay, the cheeseburger is always going to be, or our burger will always be our nicest and neatest work. Okay, that's step number 1. Let's take the bun off because we're going to top this cheeseburger up. I really like cheese. So I'm going to put some cheese on my burger here. And the cheese represents art that fills my paper. Next, I feel like bacon on this cheeseburger. Gonna add my strips of bacon here. And my bacon is going to represent art that tells me something about you. And on this one, I think my last topping for this cheeseburger today, how about some onions on the top of this burger? The onions are going to represent the other work that you finished for this assignment. Your color Mathemagic worksheet, all colored in nice and neat, and at least 3 sketches for some art ideas that you have in your sketchbook. Now I can put my bun back on top. This is what I've ordered from you. Your first cheeseburger, your first art assignment is to color in and turn your name into a work of art, to fill the paper with your artwork, to do your nicest, neatest work, to take your time as you color it in, don't rush, and to do your color worksheets and start practice some sketching. Week 1, there you go. I can't wait to see those cheeseburgers. Remember to upload your assignment in Artsonia. You don't have to worry about the worksheets or the sketches unless there's a sketch you'd really love for me to see, and you're welcome to upload that into Artsonia as well. Otherwise, the only thing I want to see in Artsonia is your name uploaded into the link that's in week 1's folder for Artsonia. And if you are having problems uploading, please go ahead and email me so that I know to expect it to be dropped off and I can look for it from your teacher. And that's all I got. Yay! Oh, last thing. Remember, you're teaching me your name. So when you upload it into Artsonia, you can tell me the best way to pronounce your name. In case you have a pronunciation that's maybe a little different, I want to make sure that when I'm talking to you, that I know how to say your name correctly. That's the whole point of the story that we shared. Teach me your name. So when you share that with me, you can tell me something that your name rhymes with. So I would say, my name is Miss Tess, and it rhymes with a big mess. Thanks so much for joining me for week 1. I can't wait to show you what we have planned for weeks number 2. All right, do you want to see my finished piece of artwork? Now I want you to remember that your artwork shouldn't end up looking like my artwork. My artwork is here to maybe give you some ideas in case you weren't quite sure what I meant when I ordered my cheeseburger. You can look at mine to get some ideas. But what's great about my artwork versus your artwork is that you and I are very different people. And your artwork should be a reflection of you and who you are, because only you can make artwork like you, because it's inspired by who you are in here and in here. So my artwork is going to look different from yours, and that is great. So I can't wait to see what yours looks like, because it's going to teach me more about you. But let's learn a little bit more about me so you can see my artwork. So Miss Tess, remember it rhymes with big mess. So Miss Tess, I drew a couple little silly things on mine too, and you can learn a lot about me by looking at my artwork. First, I had drew 2 little people. That's supposed to be my daughter Ruby, who's in 4th grade at Parker Woods, and my daughter Tilly, who's in 2nd grade. I drew little hearts. I love them very much. Then I drew a bunch of stars. Stars are probably like one of my favorite shapes. I love looking up at the stars, especially when we go camping. I like to go camping and look at all the stars that we can see when there's not as many lights from the city around. My S, I decorated to try to make it look like a piece of cheese, like Swiss cheese. And I didn't think it turned out very well, so I added a little mouse who's smelling, and he's going to try to eat my cheese. It says, "Yum, cheese!" So that's the mouse that's going to try to eat my cheese. Cheese is my most favorite food in the whole wide world. And we eat a lot of cheese at my house. In fact, Tilly's first word, aside from mom and dad, was cheese. All right, then when we get down to the T, I just made some stripes with the secondary colors. Those are probably my most favorite colors. I like green and purple and orange. On my E, I used the green and the blue to make waves to look like the ocean. And I drew a little palm tree coming out of my E. The beach is probably one of my most happy places, so I drew that. The beach makes me nice and calm. I like to go to the beach when I get a chance to go on vacation. My S I made to look like a soccer ball. You can see the soccer ball at the top and the bottom, and then in the middle I drew orange and blue for my most favorite soccer team. Go FC Cincinnati. I grew up playing soccer, and I still like to play soccer sometimes too. And I love to watch FC Cincinnati play soccer. And then for my last S, I just liked making a little design. I used a little contrast by making my S really dark, and then behind it almost looks like a tie-dye or a fiery starburst coming out from behind my S. Makes it pop off my page. And then I have a little paintbrush painting purple. Purple's probably my most favorite color. And so I drew a paintbrush because I sure like art, and it definitely describes who I am as an art teacher. There you go, a little bit about Miss Tess. Rhymes with big mess.